Hello Nut Nation, welcome back to another video. This is recorded live on stream right now and we're gonna do an account review because today is, at the time of recording, the 1-year anniversary of Honkai Star Rail. So I thought I would go over my account again. I know I just did one like 1.5 months ago, but stuff has changed, and also before I started stream I actually went back and watched the other videos, so I'll try not to overlap my points too much. And I'll generally just talk about slightly different things and also talk about the future of my account. Quickly before we start, I know I put this at the end of my previous video, but I think a lot of people are curious, and here you go if you're curious. I am not free to play. Yes, I have only one limited 5-star DPS as I've shown in my previous account review video, but I am not indeed free to play. I just choose to play that way. I have consistently bought the Express Pass and also the Nameless Honor, the Battle Pass of this game, ever since the game first released. I've also used the double top-up bonus once before it reset. That's just because I wanted to speedrun to endgame so I can start farming relics quicker because I have a crippling gambling addiction. Don't judge me. But I don't plan to spend on Stellar Jades anymore. Also, I thought I would show my inventory real quick. I don't think this has changed much from last time. The only real addition is Acheron's light cone over here. Everything else is pretty much the same, but I'm flashing it just in case you're curious as to what I have in my inventory. As for my current Stellar Jades, you probably saw earlier when I opened the shop. On top of that, I have 46 Star Rail special passes, which I can redeem. As to what characters, banners I will pull on, we'll discuss that in more detail later, but currently I don't have immediate plans to use it. Now time to yap about my characters. Okay, so for the main thing you guys probably came here for, let's talk about my two main carries, which is currently Jingliu and Acheron. Let's start with Jingliu first. And she really hasn't changed from the previous video at all because I think it's just really hard to get an upgrade on her relics. These are her current stats. You can have a look for yourself. And she's running her signature light cone with Eidolon 1 because I knew she's a character that I would play a lot, so I decided to invest a bit more into her. And after playing her for a good while now, I think it's really worth it. For me, especially, since I just bring her into content regardless of the weakness types and stuff like that, right? As for traces, it's maxed and yeah, signature light cone. And for relics, these are just the stats if you want to have a quick look. Feel free to pause the video or slow it down. Yeah, with Jingliu, my thought process is she's a character I really liked and I decided to do vertical investment on this account. I've talked about this a lot on the channel before, but essentially in Genshin Impact, which is a game I was coming from before starting Star Rail, I did massive horizontal investment, which is essentially pulling a lot of 5-star characters, but then not necessarily giving them their best weapons and stuff like that. They were decently well built with their relics, which is artifacts in that game. But as a result, without their signature weapons or certain eidolons, even though I've been playing that game for a while, like sometimes I still struggle to beat the hardest content and it takes a few tries. So I thought with this game, I wanted a different approach, just a different sort of like angle to approach the game, which I find more interesting as well for me. Is there anything else I should add, chat? Yeah, like I said, for Jingliu, I didn't really pull her for meta reasons. I saw her in the Jingwen trailer and I decided to pull her from then. There was no like info release about a kit and damage numbers and stuff. So I'm just really happy and grateful that she ended up being strong. And I think I'll still continue to play her in the future and I don't really see her falling off. Okay, so I think a lot of people are concerned if Jingliu will be power crept, and I actually received a lot of comments about that. I think just today I read a comment asking like what are my thoughts on Jingliu. They don't feel like investing into a character that is gonna feel useless in the future, possibly. I think this is like verbatim the kind of comment I read out in one of my previous videos as well, because I actually just get a lot of these comments. I think that if Jingliu will ever be power crept to a point where she's unusable, then like 80% of the current like damage dealers in the game, right now, 80 to 90%, because Jingliu was the top damage dealer before Acheron, right, in most people's books. 90% of the characters would literally be unplayable if Jingliu is remotely close to being weak or unplayable in the future. If you are someone who's playing now and you have Jingliu and you keep leveling their traces and relics, like by the time that future is even a possibility you'll have a really good Jingliu, and that future will just be further and further away from you, like the more you gear your Jingliu, right? Also, you might say that, okay, this is a turn-based game that's mostly focused on combat, so like power creep is inevitable, and like sure, I don't really want to argue with that in this video. But in my opinion, as someone who's a player and someone who likes this game, Honkai Star Rail is not a competitive game by nature. It doesn't have leaderboards, it doesn't have like PvP or anything like that. Maybe it's more combat focused than, for example, Genshin Impact, but at the end of the day, I don't think this is a very super sweaty try-hard game where they would really force power creep that hard, where characters that are really good now will be just bad in the future. It's a baby game for babies, yes. Do you think people actually be offended by that? Scary part is I think actually people will be. I think a lot of people take this game very, very seriously. Calling it a baby game will like give them a existential crisis, because it's like, oh my god, this game I tried so hard on and I spent 18 hours a day on, it's a baby game. Hoyo is listening, you're blacklisted. Probably am, because I didn't pull Aventurine also. Actually, I'm gonna start ranting. Okay, no more sidetracking, no more sidetracking. Okay, so now the second character I want to talk about, my second damage dealer, and kind of the character that changes everything for me, or has changed everything in the past month, is Acheron. She has been kind of the final piece in the puzzle in my account, as I see it, as someone who likes to just brute force enemies outside element and just bring characters in MoC regardless of the enemy. Acheron just kind of solve all my problems, and this is not me buying into the hype of, oh my god, Acheron's broken OP must pull. I think for one, that kind of sentiment has already moved on because Acheron's not on banner anymore. And secondly, I'm not one of those people. If you've watched like more than one of my videos, you can probably tell. Personally, for me, she really is important because I chose for her to be important. This could be literally any DPS, by the way, is what I'm trying to say. Because Jingliu is my first powerhouse DPS. The second one, for the longest time, was Clara. She was the other character that I would use to brute force into enemies, regardless of the element. And also sometimes I would use Himeko in MoC as well, if the enemy is fire weak. And yeah, Qingque, which is also a good character. But the gap from, for example, Clara to Acheron is quite big, especially since I pulled her signature light cone, and also I maxed out her traces and gave her good relics. Quickly, these are her stats if you want to see. And these are her relics. I'm running a attack orb. I really just brute force stuff with her now, and it's very, very comfortable. Also, the overworld technique is super nice. I pull her mostly because of her animations. The way I choose to decide whether to pull a character is, first of all, their character design, then second of all, like their personality and involvement in the quest and how much I like them as a character. And then the third thing is animations. And for me, like Acheron really sold me on animations. Her character design is not bad too. I don't really care too much for her character in the story, although she does really have cool moments, so that's a plus. But yeah, her animations are big. Also, big time saver with the overworld mob farming thing. I do not regret pulling her. She's very nice. Even at E0, you don't really need Idolence at all, although a lot of people will say E2 is a big boost, but by no means does that mean you need it if you have a decent build on her. One thing I would like to bring attention to is the fact that I'm running relatively high crit rate on her. You might not see people run this high crit rate on Acheron usually, and that's because I think having a good crit rate on Acheron, a good crit rate to crit damage ratio, is very important because she does multiple hits. The damage really just averages out. The closer you are to a 1 to 2 crit rate to crit damage ratio, the better your damage overall is. If you want to know directly her crit rate to crit damage ratio, you really need to do it in game, in battle, to kind of see, or you can just use math to do it. The 4 crit rate base from Pioneer already shows here, but the extra 4% and the 24 crit damage, as well as the 12% crit rate from Izumo, doesn't show on here. So yeah, that's just something to note. The closer to 1 to 2 ratio you get, the better I get a lot of people asking me for my opinion on the Acherons, and this is what I usually say because after testing it out myself, like running a really high crit damage Acheron with relatively lower crit rate, like a 1-to-3 ratio, maybe like 80 crit rate to like 240 crit damage, it's always better to have like 95 crit rate and then like 200 crit damage, for example. It's always just more comfortable. And if you try it on an Acheron, maybe she'll do more damage. Dude, I just started playing HSR last month and your videos really are base. Absolute legend. Yo, thank you. I appreciate it. Why am I hiring paid chatters? I want to do something a bit different from my previous account review video because a lot of my characters builds do stay the same. So if you're curious about other characters, feel free to check the older one out. So I'll just focus on a few smaller amount of characters in this video. Clara recently got an upgrade. So these are her stats right now. She is running a physical damage boost orb and 999 traces. She's E0 and I'm running the 4-piece Longevous Disciple set to kind of just help with her crit rate and with her consistency. These are her individual pieces. And this is the piece I recently got an upgrade for. Rolled it live on stream. We're just testing. Yo! There's a sign. There's a sign. Clara's the GOAT! Clara's the GOAT! Okay, this is a sign to play Clara. Bro, 1 in 4 chance? More like 1 in 1 chance! 1 in 1 chance! It's just that easy. Guys, if you want to roll better, honestly, what you should do is you should just roll better. And just roll it! Like that! Just roll it! You want to win? Just win. Okay? It's about the mentality. Guys, relic manipulation is real. It's not in the code, it's not anything like that. It's in your mindset, guys. You are the one holding you back. If you roll bad, it's your fault. Okay, maybe too far, but someone gotta cancel Nutty. You can't keep getting away. Hey guys, if you want to check out more of my online clips and the cool stuff I do on the live stream on twitch.tv/Nutty, feel free to head on to Nutty Clips YouTube channel. Only the best and freshest highlights over there. Qingque is another character I find myself using a lot. I think a lot of people don't like her because of the gambling mechanic, and it's either you love her or hate her, right? I think I really like her because I'm someone who loves getting screwed over in the relic caverns. So getting a chance to get screwed over after you got screwed over trying to get good relics for her, like think about it this way, right? You have to gamble to even get her a good build, and then once you get her a good build, you get into battle, and then you have a chance for that to go to nothing as well. As she consumes like 6 skill points and then doesn't do her enhanced attack. If you like pain, you would really like Qingque. I thank her a lot for being the little gremlin that she is. So this is my build on her. This is currently my speed boot build. I'm running this light cone because that's her face on it, so match the pictures, right? QQ face light cone to QQ. Traces, level 9. I'll probably max this out if I ever get bored of farming relics. Same with Clara. And these are her individual pieces. I normally run her with attack boots because I play her with Sparkle though. Okay, that's all my DPSs, right? Anyone else I play? Oh, Herta! Herta got a big upgrade recently. So I'm running her slow. This is for pure fiction. This is a pure fiction build. These are her stats. And she's running Genius's Repose. This and then this. I'll show you her relics. She got geared with the new relic set. Okay, just ignore this. Ignore the break effect. But it's overall still a decent piece because if you break enemies, it's fine, right? It's decent. There's crit. And then there's this piece, which is pretty juicy. Very lucky with this set. Not as lucky with the Acheron set, but it is what it is. You might say the crit ratio is a bit messed up, but this is along the same lines as what I talked about with Acheron earlier. Like you have to take it into account all the buffs when the character are in battle. So my Herta is actually rocking like 95 crit rate because of E2. Gives 15% crit rate, and then crit damage she gets a lot, 40% from her planners, 25 from Hunter of Glacial Forest, and also 36 from this Super Imposition Tree Genius's Repose. That brings her up to like 224 crit damage or something with like 95 crit rate. She's pretty stacked. Yeah, once again with traces, I might just max this one out because I've just been playing her for this long and I just really think she's a staple in Pure Fiction. Whenever people ask me how to clear Pure Fiction better, first thing I do is check if their Herta is built because she's really good there. Also, I like Herta before Pure Fiction. I try to make her work in Memory of Chaos. This is another character I really like. I don't want to yap about face proportions and symmetry, but I think she has very good face proportion and symmetry. Like, actually, that's one of my reasons. Also, I like the flower in her hair. I don't know, it's like small things that I like. I also like how she uses her big hammer and she just smashes everyone. I like her animations. Yeah, very satisfying. And when she does the kuru thing, it's very nice. Xueyi, I touched on her in the previous one as well. She was E3 then, she's E4 now, closer to E6. Nothing much to say. I have other DPSs built as well. They're mostly 4 stars and you can check out the previous video for that. I'm not trying to plug, I'm just trying to like not waste time. As for my supports, we got Ruan Mei, who I have changed to a slow Ruan Mei build. She is having 262 break effect and she has like tanky stats. A lot of defense and HP, shouldn't be easy to kill at all. 120 speed, just enough to get the Von Whack effect so that she gets to move first when she enters battle, even though she has lower speed than the rest, so she can basic attack and then ult immediately to get the full effect with her technique, right? These are her pieces. I use her a lot. She's like very universal, very comfortable. I think a lot of people, myself included, can't imagine playing the game without Ruan Mei now. So yeah, I have her E1, don't regret it at all. Very nice. Litecoin still at level 70 as well because she's really tanky enough. And honestly, leveling a Litecoin is only good for HP and defense, right? For these support units like Sparkle and Ruan Mei. Speaking of Sparkle, these are my stats on her. Nothing much has changed since the previous video, but I'll just show it anyway. She's running her light cone, max traces, and these are investment. The reason I like to max traces on supports is because they can carry over to your other characters as well, because the higher your support traces, the higher like your other characters' damage are basically, right? Leveling your support traces is like leveling the traces of a lot of your other characters without having to, if that makes sense. Like TPSs are interchangeable, supports are usually not interchangeable or like less interchangeable, like amplifiers, especially since Sparkle and Ruan Mei are only 2 5-star limited harmonies in the game. So I'll use them a lot and you just get a lot of benefit from this, right? She's E0. She's really good at E0 already. I also have Silverwolf built. E0, S0, Pella, really good for Acheron. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so I want to like bring this to a more broader discussion. I think I'm in a very good spot now in terms of like the game part of like the meta to aesthetics like spectrum. I already have the game down pat. And honestly, at this point, it's just really fun because I can just pull whoever and I'm not really constrained, right? And I just want to share that experience with you guys. I think what I want to say is that I'm like having fun in the game. It's like nice knowing that I can clear the game comfortably. I'm just waiting for new characters, just pulling. And then mostly just gambling simulation. Like the reason I don't actually go out in the real world and gamble and lose a lot of money is because there's free gambling in this game that keeps me at bay. So honestly, Honkai Star Rail probably saved my life. It saved me from going into debt and probably depression. And so I'm very thankful to Honkai Star Rail. Very good game. 10 out of 10. Would play again. That's my 1-year review of my account and also the game XDD. I guess I should show my Memory of Chaos clear history. This time I cleared with 2 cycles, and Memory of Chaos Pure Fiction I cleared like max 80k. So yeah, that's pretty good. Weird champ, streamer flexing, whatever. Yeah, anyway. That's all about the future. What is the future? The future is something that is yet to happen. What else has yet to happen? The live stream tonight, which we'll get to see Robin's and Boothill's animations, so that will help me decide if I go for them or not. But more importantly, the characters I'm more interested in, which are Firefly and Jade. Their animations are yet to happen. So I can't decide if I'm going for them or not. But if I go for them, my account goes from 2 DPSs, 5-star limited DPSs, to 4, because Jade is Quantum Erudition and Firefly is Fire Destruction. Okay, I don't know where I'm going to enter this in the video, but these are my stats from the year before. These are the stats. I think I mostly just want to show you the power distribution. This is how much I focus on my relics. So if you see my relic quality being pretty good, just know that it's like 67% of my power goes into relics. And I can do this because I have less characters to farm trace materials and ascension materials for. That's the end of the video before the sun sets and I literally lose all the light in my room. I want to say thank you for watching. That's pretty much it. For once, I'll do a Uno reverse card and not do a 5-minute long outro. So that's it. Bye-bye. Much love. See ya. This doesn't work on stream. What? I could do this.